Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Ronan and I make vlogs and I make product and tech reviews, and today we are talking about the Kimafun Wireless microphone. So I have the Kimafun Wireless microphone right here and I want to open it up and unbox it for you guys on this channel, kind of give you guys a flavor of exactly what comes in the box, what it's like out of the box, and a little bit of what it sounds like. Before I get into any of that, I just want to let you know that if there's a specific thing that you want to know about this, I'm going to leave time codes in the description below. So if there's a section that you want to jump to, you can check out the description and go straight to it. Also, just one thing to say, this video isn't sponsored, but Kimafun did actually send me this microphone, so I didn't have to pay for this. They sent it to me for the purposes of unboxing and reviewing it here on the channel. Kimafun don't have any say or sway over this video, so if my review is positive, it's because I genuinely like the microphone, and if my review is negative, it's because I don't. They just asked me to make an unbiased unboxing and review of the microphone, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So now that I have all of that out of the way, I just want to open this up for you guys and see what this thing is like out of the box. So I'm just going to cut the plastic off this box here. So open this up here. So this is pretty cool. Straight away we have a pouch that says Kimafun. A little sticker on the back just explains again what you have. And then also in here we have our instruction manual. And then inside this pouch, I'm guessing we have the microphone. So just open this up. Okay, so straight away I can see we have our microphone. This is the microphone itself, and there's a little inbuilt microphone on the very top of it. There's a jack here for, I presume, connecting a lavalier mic. There's a USB Type-C charge port here, and then there's a little clip on the bottom here. And this looks like it can be used to clip this onto your collar or onto your pocket if you're using this with the lavalier mic attached to it. There's a little symbol here which looks like it is for connection, so I presume this lights up when you're connected to the receiver. And then you have a little battery indicator here as well. And then on this side we have what I'm assuming is the receiver. So again, a lot of the same symbols: connection to show that you're paired, your battery indicator. You have an out here, so this is the connection that goes from the receiver into your camera. And then there's another connection here with a little headphone symbol. So this is obviously if you want to connect headphones into this so you can monitor your audio as you're recording, if you're filming an interview or something like that. Then on this side we have a power button and a mute button, and it actually looks like on the microphone itself the power button also doubles up as a mute button. And then there's a volume up and down, so this will control the levels inside the microphone and the receiver rather than the levels inside your camera. So that is everything that comes in this part of the pouch. And then up top here we have some cables. This end, actually it says it's designed for your phone, so this will go into the headphone jack on your phone if you have a phone with a headphone jack, and this end obviously goes into the microphone receiver. I have another curly cable here, so this one is for the camera. So again, one end goes into my camera and the other end goes into the receiver here. What's actually really cool about these is there's little covers to keep these safe and clean and protected when they're not in use. I've never seen that before with a microphone or with any device that uses a 3.5mm jack, but I just think that's a really nice little touch, so that's really cool. Also in here we have our charging cable. So this looks like it's a double cable, and so we've got USB Type A, and then it has two USB-C outputs here, so you can charge the receiver and the microphone all off the one cable. And then in here, that is a cover for a lavalier microphone, which I'm assuming is in here. And this is a dead cat style windbreaker for the microphone. So this looks like it just clips on very, very easily and stays in, and then it just detaches also very, very easily. And these things are great. So basically the idea behind this is if I'm using the built-in microphone and I'm outdoors and there's any kind of wind or anything, putting this on will eliminate any wind noise that blows across the camera and just improves the audio quality. So it's really, really great that they supply this with the microphone. And lastly, we have a little pouch that says Kimafun, and this is like a recyclable plastic, which is cool. And we have a lavalier microphone. Again, the lav mic has a little cover on the jack just to keep it safe when you're not using it. And this is it here. And amazingly, this actually comes with the cover on it. So this is a spare cover, which is really great because these things just sit on here and they're so easy to lose. This is really cool. So this is the clip to clip the lav mic onto your collar. But what's great about this is it actually has a little swivel, so it can pivot and it can turn. So what's really awesome about that is if you take a look at the lav mic that I have here, I'll just unclip this briefly. This just has a cable and this clip sits at like a 90-degree angle, so the microphone is kind of sideways. And any lav mic that I've ever used has actually had a connection like this. But what's great about this is this can actually swivel, which means that you can change the orientation of the microphone when it's pinned to your collar. So that's the first thing that's really good about this. Second thing that's really good about it is when you store the cable, oftentimes, like when I'm storing this, I take the clip off so that it's not sitting out at an angle like this when it's all in the pouch, because I have broken them in the past before with old lav mics that I've had. So with this, you can just keep it flush, and it just means that if this is in your bag or in a pouch or something like that, it's less likely to break in the pouch when it's moving around if something lands on it and squashes it or anything like that. So that's really cool. And like, I'll be honest, I've never seen that on a microphone before, so I'm super excited about that feature, and I just think that's really good. And then the way this actually clips on is it's just a little plastic clip here, so this can be detached, and it actually grips onto the cable rather than onto any section of the microphone. So I'm just gonna go and see if there's any power in this. So I've got some power here. Do I have power here though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this here at all, but if I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see these are actually paired and they're connected. This looks like it's a screen, but it doesn't appear to actually be a screen. So I'm just gonna take this off and see if I can see what's going on here. Okay, I actually don't think this is a screen at all. That's interesting. So this obviously is an LCD display here, and this looks like it's an LCD display, but I actually don't think it is. I think that's just plastic, but you get all of the information that you need about the microphone and where it is on the display here. So you can see here you've got TX and RX. So TX is transmitter and RX is receiver, I believe. And then the symbols next to each one here are battery symbols. So you can see they both have 4 bars. So they're kind of fully charged, I guess. And I can see that the level is moving on the microphone here. So it is picking up my voice. Okay, so I just quickly want to go through kind of like the look and feel of this thing. The first thing I will say is this is incredibly light. There's absolutely no weight in the microphone, and there's a little bit more weight in the receiver. It's probably to do with the fact that it has a screen and that kind of thing. Just adds a little bit of extra weight to it, but not so much that I would call this heavy. And then in terms of just the quality of the plastic, it doesn't have a super premium feel. Like it's just like it feels like a light plastic. So the only kind of real concern I would have about that is maybe if this thing like fell, or if this was on your camera and your camera fell over, I mean, you'd have bigger things to worry about, but this might break if it smashed off the ground. Same goes for this. If it was like attached to your pocket and you didn't have it on fully, this casing feels like it could split or crack if it took a fall. These hinges here on the back feel really strong. Like there's a spring hinge in here to keep them closed. There's little teeth on the bottom of this, and there's little holes on the inside that the teeth slot into, so this like closes nicely. But also if you have this like attached to like a t-shirt or like a pocket or something, it feels actually like it would be super secure. So that's one element that actually does feel really durable and really strong. So I feel like if I was using this, I would be confident with these clasps that once these are attached properly in place, that they're not going to go anywhere. In terms of what you get here, I think everything that Kimafun give you with this microphone setup is excellent. Giving you the lavalier mic and actually giving you the dead cat, I think is just a really nice touch. For the price of it, you're getting an awful lot here. And then just in terms of the price, Kimafun actually sell this microphone through an Amazon store, and it costs $89.99. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below if anyone wants to check that out. It's really affordable. But then I guess with that price, The real question is whether or not this thing is actually any good. And the only way to establish that is to actually plug this into the camera and just see what it's like. This is all the information on my camera, and I'm actually speaking into the microphone now, and the camera is picking up the audio levels through the microphone, and what you're seeing there is me doing this. So those audio levels are definitely being picked up by the camera. Okay, so I'm back at the desk and I'm just going to clip this onto my collar, because if I was doing like a sit down video like this one and I was using the onboard microphone to do like a sit down video like this, I would have the microphone attached to my collar just like it is here. This is pretty much exactly what you would expect this to sound like in an environment like this. This is now what the microphone sounds like with the dead cat on board in an indoor setting like this one. So this is exactly the placement of the microphone with the dead cat on, back on my collar again. And then I just want to test this with the lavalier mic now. And I'm not going to worry about hiding the cable for the purposes of this. I'm just going to clip this on, and I'm actually going to do this so that this is clipped onto my collar and it's actually facing the correct way. This is kind of what this microphone would sound like if I decide to use this in future for all of these kind of sit down videos. And I think this is how I would use this. So I would have this little lavalier mic attached on here, because it's a lot neater. It's almost invisible when it's on my collar. I would run the cable underneath my t-shirt, so all you would see is the little black dot just there at my collar while I'm speaking. I'm hoping that the audio quality here is good, but before I give any kind of like final thoughts or recommendations, I am going to kind of go and listen back to the audio just to see what this is like. Okay, so I've just come outside to see what this thing is like in an outdoor setting. I still have the lavalier mic connected. That's currently what you're hearing me through. One thing I just noticed when I was inside, the last audio test, the volume might have been set a little bit too high internally in the microphone, so the audio may not have sounded that good. I've lowered it a little bit so that it's not peaking. So hopefully this actually sounds better than it did, even though I was in a controlled environment inside. Hopefully this sounds pretty good, and it's quite windy, so yeah, I don't know if the wind is having a massive impact on this lavalier mic here, but I just want to show you guys what it's like if I just unplug this and I use the onboard mic. So here we go. So now you're hearing the onboard mic, and I can actually feel and I can hear the wind blowing myself. So I feel like you can probably hear that too. I'm just going to connect this onto my collar. So this is what it sounds like outdoors with the onboard mic and no windshield at all. So again, like, I hope this sounds pretty decent and that the wind noise isn't completely killing it, but in the event that it is, I do have this. So it's time now. It's actually, the wind's really picking up, so it's time to put this on. So that's super easy to connect onto the onboard mic, and with any luck, that is just improving the audio quality out here no end by eliminating any wind noise that you might have been hearing up to now. Now I just want to do like a quick range test. So what I want to do is I want to walk down to the end of the garden and see, hopefully you guys can still hear me by doing that. I don't have an exact distance, but I think it's probably about 10 meters. I'm gonna walk behind the big tree down the end as well, so you'll lose some line of sight with me. So yeah, hopefully the microphone and the receiver will still have enough range that you'll be able to hear me talking while I do that. So yeah, I'm just walking down to the end of the garden now. A little bit windy, but again, hopefully the windshield is blocking that out. There's also like some construction going on further down the road, so you guys may or may not be able to hear that. But yeah, so this is me down the very back of the garden. So yeah, there's probably about 10 meters between me and the camera now. I'm standing behind the tree, so there's definite like blocking of line of sight between me and the camera now. So I'm hoping that you can still hear that. I'm gonna come around in between the tree and the shed. So yeah, now you guys can obviously see me again, but whether you can hear me is another question. I hope that you can, and I'm going to go and I'm going to review this footage as soon as possible just to see how this performed. Okay, so it's a couple of days later and I've been editing the video and I've been listening back to the audio that I recorded using the Kimafun Wireless microphone, and I have some thoughts. So first of all, the audio that you're hearing right now is from the Kimafun wireless microphone. I'm using it right now. I'm really impressed with the audio quality from the lavalier mic when that's plugged into the microphone. So I think that sounds really, really good, and I'm very happy with how that sounds. And to be perfectly honest, if I bought this as a wireless lavalier microphone, for the price, I think it'd be really, really good value. In terms of the audio quality from the onboard microphone, I'm a little bit less impressed with that. What I found is that from kind of reviewing the audio, it sounds like it's a little bit, how do I describe this? It sounds like it's a little bit woolly, I guess, compared to other mics that I've used. I think it's probably still an improvement to the onboard microphone on the camera, but in terms of using it versus the lavalier mic, I think the lavalier mic is just so much better. And then if I'm outdoors and I'm using the windshield on the onboard microphone, I have to say the audio still sounds that little bit woolly. So I guess then the question is that enough to put me off buying this microphone? And I think I'd have to say the answer to that is no. And the reason for that is quite simple. The price of this microphone is $90. And I think for $90, you're getting an awful lot of value here. As I've already said, just using the lav mic with the wireless microphone on its own, this is 100% worth the $90. The second thing is, if you're somebody who makes YouTube content and you're just starting out and you're maybe using a camera, like I'm using the Canon M50 right now, or if you're using your phone to make all your YouTube videos and you really want to improve the audio quality of your YouTube videos, particularly if you're going to sit down talking head videos like this setup, $90 is a really, really difficult price to argue with. So yeah, I just think like if you're somebody who's starting out and you just want to improve the audio quality of your videos, this is a great starting point for that. So those are kind of my thoughts on this. I do think it's a good microphone. I think for the price of it, you're getting an awful lot. And like, there's not a huge amount of detractors given that $90 price tag. And I would recommend it if you're on a budget. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this video here. Hope you've liked it. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys in my next video.